Hey, library people. There are 6 of us, 7 if you count me, 8 if you count Mrs. Duval, but we are all one big group. And at this day, or on this day, this is my, I made so many videos so far, but I feel like I can be kind of real with you guys. So I hope that, that I don't have to make too many of these for my instruction. But this is my first official lesson for you, or at least information for you, as I will be posting with every double section of the class. So what I hope to accomplish today in our first meeting or class session is really just going over some of the tasks that we're going to undertake over the next couple of weeks. Maybe talk about what I see for the future post September 11th. I think that is our date where we're going to maybe be face to face, or at least have some adjustment in what's going on. But I just wanted to use this opportunity to go over the day's lesson, or at least go over the points that I hope to go over with you guys face to face. So you'll see me looking around a little bit as I look at my second screen, but really this first session, like many of your first classes, is just kind of a how do we function in this room. Obviously, if it were, say for normal times, you would be learning how to use certain features of the library to help patrons face to face. And you'll still get an element of that. And that's really a lot of what we're going to be doing in the first couple of weeks. Is I'm going to familiarize you with some of the programs I want you to know how to use, such as the library management system, which is called Surpass, also called Safari, depending on which end of it you're on. I want you to know how to navigate the New York Times, since that's very important. And of course, I want you to know the Monroe County Public Library. So those are the 3 sites that are most important for me that you understand how to use. It will definitely aid you in your future career as a librarian, or as a permanent patron of libraries throughout your life. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on in terms of the videos, doing the know-how, getting some practice on that. But we're also going to start our first novel in our reading unit called the Great Genre Book Club. We're going to be looking at a couple of books that I've chosen simply because I need them. I want some student feedback and your feedback on how to implement programming based on them. The first one's a library book, which you already have in your possession, which is about the burning of the Los Angeles Library in 1986. And then the second one is called Addicts, and that is sports nonfiction. And the reason I want us to read that and to think about the genre of sports, or sports fiction, or in this case nonfiction, just sports in general, is because we have the author Philip Hoos coming in February to speak to the student body. And on one hand, I want to know, hey, what's the best way to promote this? What's the best way to go about it? And also, I want to talk to some kids who may not like sports, you know, and see, hey, how do we approach this from an angle? I have some book readers, I have some library lovers, maybe not necessarily big sports fans, but as a librarian or a teacher, or kind of like any job you have, sometimes you have to really put your heart behind something that you're maybe not so familiar with. So, so 2 pieces of nonfiction, 1 more mystery, true crime, slightly thriller, not very scary, but I don't know, if you were in a fire, you'd probably be kind of scared. And on the other hand, we also have the sports nonfiction, and it takes place in Indianapolis. I see a lot of beauty in both of these books. After we go through that, then the second or the third and fourth ones will be yours. So then we're getting to New York Times. So there's so much that we're going to be doing. I'm trying to tread a little lightly. We need to start getting some work done, but I also am trying to keep in mind the fact that if you were actually here in the building and things were like normal, we'll say normal all the time, you would also be just sitting there reading most likely, or you'd be helping out patrons. And so it's not going to be, as you'll see as I reveal parts of the lessons to you week by week, you'll see that, yes, I'm asking you to read. Yes, I'm asking you to respond. Because this isn't an English elective, there are some elements of that, but I also do respect the fact that this isn't a true English class. And it's also sort of an ACT lab. You know, there's so many thoughts on my mind. You guys know me. I'm just trying to make sure that you have a good time, you learn a little bit, you pass the class, and you get a credit. And maybe you'll go on to support libraries or work in libraries when you're older. So for our first lesson of the day, and as you know, sometimes I'm kind of wordy, but the first lesson of the day is a hey, hello, so good to know you. And I have some different times that are posted. And my plan is to meet with all of you Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm going to meet with you Wednesday, meet with you Thursday during your designated times that are stated on the sample schedule. And I say sample because that's how they call it. And this is all on the very front. So I have all the meeting times listed for Wednesday and Thursday. And based off of the sample schedule, I've tried to schedule them 15 minutes after the class starts, just so you can maybe get a jump start on some of the links that I have. Maybe some of you already started looking at them. Maybe you just maybe go through your homework, or gives you an little extra time to get a few things turned in or whatever. But it will be about 15 minutes once we get started. Next, then I'm going to start our meeting. And what I'd like to do is find a common time. And I don't know if that's going to be possible. And it may not. I mean, and I am happy to hold 4 different sessions, but what I think is going to be more enjoyable is if the 6 of us can find some time to speak and to make a plan. And even if we end up going, coming together as a group, I mean, in school face to face again, I hope that we can find a common time, because you know, I mean, it's a little more enjoyable when you put more heads together. So that's what I'm hoping we can accomplish, is to find a common meeting time during our distance learning. And then we'll just wait till the next step. I mean, again, your schedule is your schedule, and I respect that, especially all the other classes you're taking. But during the distance learning, I will propose that we meet Tuesday and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Simply so we can, you know, just sort of, you know, talk and share our ideas, especially when we start talking about different months and diversity and so forth. Our first big thing is going to be Banned Books Month, week, which is at the end of September. So I'll definitely it'll be an all hands on board kind of thing for that. So obviously I want our first meeting to establish whether or not a common meeting time can happen. I provided a video that I've sent out for the entire school student body, if they don't know who I am. The next one is this instructional video, me once again saying all these words. Then I have some articles that I posted, kind of like, you'll see this from me. I'm gonna post some things that are like pro-library, doing all that we can for it, because it's a great place. And, you know, just making it better, why it's important for the future, you know, all of that stuff. Then I get into some of the videos about the Monroe County Public Library. I've made a YouTube channel, BHS and Digital, where I've put some of my instructional videos. In the future, you might feel like doing it as well. I won't make it a requirement because I want to respect your privacy and your parents' wishes, but that might be a possibility as we create different things. And then I'm going to introduce our first assignment called Movable Feast. Movable Feast will be weekly. Sometimes it's weekly, sometimes I'm a little more flexible, but it's going to be a discussion area for us to, you know, just share some ideas. Like my first one is called Let's Talk Libraries, Bibliophiles, you lovers of books. And really, I just want to know why libraries are important to you. I mean, a lot of people don't seem to value them like they used to, and a lot of it has to do with technology. But then there are a lot of people who do love them, and then there are people who love them, but and want them in their community, yet they don't use them. And you know, it's just like one of those things. It's an interesting gig, and it's an interesting position. So I just want to know, I mean, you're in a library class, you are 6 kids out of 1,600 who have chosen this class. So why are libraries important to you? These prompts are going to be worth 30 points, and you'll have an initial response, a reference to the article or the prompt, or just making sure that you tie it back to my question throughout your response. And then you're going to reply to at least 2. And so my dates when I post them, and I'll give you a couple days turnaround. And this is just sort of to keep the discussion going. I don't know how you developed everything in your last class or last semester when you were having discussion boards, or if that really even picked up. But these little discussions not only make up the time that we can't like actually be face to face, and it might end up being, if we can't find a common time, we'll rely on it more, but it also is going to give you a grade. And so, you know, we couldn't have school without a grade in the 20th, 21st century and so forth. So these are ways to let me know that you are invested in what we're doing. And it also allows me to see that you've been reading and thinking about the class. And so you'll soon find out that I just want you to have a good time. I don't want it to be too stressful, but obviously it is an academic class. So you're going to have to show up, and you're going to have to fulfill the requirements in order to get the A you all want. If not, you might get a B or a C. You never know, but hopefully not. So this is, I believe, enough for now. We'll probably repeat a lot of these things once we're actually in our face-to-face meeting, but please be there. Email me immediately if you do not get this, and or if you cannot log in, or if you're having trouble getting into Zoom, and I'm sorry, Zoom, Microsoft Team meetings, and that'll be it. So I cannot wait to talk to you. I can't wait to see your faces. And I hope that in the next 24 hours, you rest up. Okay. See you later. Bye, guys.